by subscribing and leaving comments.
Hello everybody, just wanted to provide an update on the Sasquatch Archives merchandise. Unfortunately, there have been a few snags and there will be a delay in the availability of the merchandise, but I hope to resolve it sometime soon. Obviously, I will keep you posted. I know there's been some interest in purchasing and again, it will be available and I'll be sure to let everyone know. I hope you enjoy this video and the subsequent videos that will follow. And thanks for the continued support. It's very much appreciated.
How you doing? Well, to start, I've been into Bigfoot for pretty much my whole life. Mostly reading books, John Green books, Rennie DeHinden books, any book I could find in the library. My grandfather was somewhat interested in the subject, so he kind of showed me newspaper clippings from across the country and so on. And I was always somewhat interested. Well, about a year and a half ago, I saw an article in the Cleveland Plain Dealer that said, alleged video of Sasquatch taken in Ohio. It's being shown tonight at 8 p.m. down in Newcomerstown, Ohio. So I told my wife, Dawn, Dawn, we got to go down and see this guy in the monkey suit. Let's get a good laugh out of this and then go home. Well, I went down to this conference. I met a bunch of people. There was about 100 people in attendance. And when I saw the video, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I was expecting a man in a black gorilla suit, running in the wide open and so on. But you'll see that video later. That's someone else's in their presentation. But well, what's been happening, I've been researching with Don Keating. He's the founder of the Eastern Ohio Bigfoot Investigation Center for about the last year and a half. And I've been going down about two weekends out of the month, sometimes with my wife, sometimes with my brother, sometimes just by myself. And I've been helping Don beat the bush around the south central, southeastern part of Ohio. And last Memorial Day, after a very heavy rainstorm, we went down to a specific area in Coshocton County, and I found in the mud one single 17.5-inch footprint, 5-toed. It got rained on. It was filled with water. I took pictures of it. I sent it to a few people. They said it looked like it was most definitely a Sasquatch track. Other than that, I've really never had any type of encounters at all. But I've been very loyal to Don and the Bigfoot Center, and I've been out there, like they say, beat the bush, look around, check out leads, interview people, and so on. And one thing that Don Keating always told me was, it's very simple. If you're going out in the woods, don't come back and say you saw a Bigfoot, and don't say you didn't have a camera or a camcorder. So I immediately told my wife, Dawn, it was her birthday. Well, she needs a camera. Went out and bought her a Minolta 35mm, $300 camera, 38 to 115 millimeter zoom built in. That took care of one problem. And then I finally just said, well, I make good money. I don't care. I just went out and bought a $800 camcorder, a Panasonic VHS-C 22:1 zoom, color viewfinder, image stabilization, and so on. Well, anyways, getting to the story. On April 20th of this year, we went out to our typical location in Coshocton County, beat it around the bush like we usually do, check for signs, talk to fishermen, see if they've seen or heard anything. And it was just a very typical, beautiful day in April. It was almost 70 degrees that day. There was probably no wind. I think the biggest gust on our meter was 1 mile an hour for the day. Well, we were just ready to pack up and leave the area, and Don suggested, let's go over to this area called Butterfly Lake. And I was like, Don, I've been bothering you for the last 6 months. Let's head down to a specific area in the southern part of the county where in 1995 someone had an alleged sighting up on top of a high wall area off of a little country dirt road. And to understand southern Ohio, that's basically what it is. Little country dirt roads going through the foothills of the Allegheny Mountains. Heavily forested, very thick briars. As my wife says, you try to slit your wrist. No, it's a briar, honey. But anyways, well, on April 20th, 1997, me, Don Keating, and Richard Myers went out to this specific area. We wanted to hike to the base of this high wall. And well, we parked our car at one spot. We walked down the dirt road probably about a half mile, and then we found a trail that from the previous hunting season. It looks like someone macheted in going into the forest. Well, we hiked in approximately about a half mile, and then we decided, well, okay, let's cut into the woods here and head straight for the high wall, because the high wall is so towering. It's like about 150 feet, from the level ground, so it really stands out. So we got to the base of the high wall. We took our pictures that we wanted to do. We videotaped everything. And well, we have Motorola radios, which I hope most good researchers keep, so you can split up and everything. So I suggested to Don, I'm like, Don, how about this? Head back to the trailhead, head back down to the dirt road. When you get there, call Richard and I, and we'll make our way out. So as Richard and I putzed around the edge of the high wall, looking at what looked like badger holes and everything, just looking around and everything, Don finally called, sometime later and said, I'm down at the trailhead. I'll call you when I hit the road. Well, when he got to the road, he called us. He said, okay, well, come on out. Well, we made our way to the trailhead through the forest, hit the trailhead, and we got about halfway down the trailhead, and Don called back on the radio, which you'll hear on the video, and he suggested that there was an area on the left side of the trail where there was a thick growth of what we call briars. Right when you see the road, he heard something moving around in there. So Richard and I got down to the area, and we were looking around, didn't see much. We weren't sure if he meant our left or his left, so we called him on the radio. Now, do you mean our left or your left? And he finally said, your left as you're looking at the road. So I'm standing in front of this big blob of briars, probably like 10 feet high, and all of a sudden Richard and I hear what sounds like footfalls. That's the only thing I could explain it as. So I took my camcorder immediately and just wide-angled real quick and zoomed in as far as I could, hit my image stabilization on so I could max out at 20-to-1 zoom. Now I'm looking through my color viewfinder, and I hit this area of pines where I see, looked like the pine branches were just shaking real violently up and down, and I'm saying to myself, there's no wind, what's going on there? And I'm looking at that area, I'm looking at what I think is the space, and I'm seeing, because you can see like an object moving back there, and it looks like I could see an eye blinking. And I'm saying to myself, like, Richard? And he's like, you see something? I go, I think so. And I'm just looking, and then I go like this, put it down, because I'm trying to see with my eyes the area I'm looking at, but the problem I learned was with a camcorder 20-to-1 zoom, once you pull your eyes away, you're like, you don't know where you are, so you keep trying to find the area. Well, it went on, the tape goes for approximately 11 minutes, and during 3 specific parts, there surely looks to be something very interesting in the underbrush. The first part that I'll at least say something when it's there, it looks like there's a brow ridge of looks like a chestnut brown looking individual, and it looks like it's just like kind of crouched down like in this position, and it's looking up like this, looking down, looking up, and you'll hear Don on the radio calling back and forth, and I'm going to Richard, I'm looking at some eyes or some face or something, and he'll tell Don that, and Don goes, what do you mean, in a brush? And I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, what did he think? But anyways, Don eventually made it up next to me, and Richard was to my left, and the last 5 minutes of the tape, there's 2 other interesting sections, and I think the last section is the most interesting at all. It looks to be like an orangutan-like animal standing around a tree, looking at, I thought was me, but it was actually looking at Don like this, and then it backs up like this, turns to its side, and it's looking this way, and then I got so excited, I'm like, because Don couldn't see it with his camcorder, I go, here, take mine. He takes mine as usual. He didn't know what I was talking about, because he's saying, I can't see it. And so basically that was it. I mean, you can be the judge. I'm sure on this screen you'll see something, but
let's go ahead and roll the video.
Go ahead. If you have any questions, we'll have questions afterwards. I'll take 5 questions after that. You can see me in the hall later. Loud and clear. Okay, I'm 2 feet away from the trail now. Okay, call us when you get down to the bottom of it. Okay, well. There's the area where I go. This is good stuff to come up. I'm thinking I'm seeing something there. to the left, there's something hunkered in there. I didn't notice it as of yet. Left top.
Are you talking about the black spot in the middle?
No. I will.
Speaking of that car, you know? No, there's one on the floor, though. Yeah, I see that.
Okay, it'd be right when I finally get on, right in there. Watch. I personally haven't noticed it yet, because I'm looking now right in there. I haven't noticed it, I'll go back down.
I'm kind of in the area now.
Looks like a head. It looks like a set of eyes. But I'm watching it right now.
He's watching it right now. He said it looks like he thought he could see a head and eyes.
See what I mean by a brow ridge? It looks like there's a brow ridge. I'm at 20 to 1.
I need to get up there now.
I was scared to death.
It's cold.
Watch what you got there right now.
I tell him I'm videotaping.
This is really good. It's a better perfect
He's
place.
got his eyes. He's
It looks like it's watching us through the woods.
got you see something right now. Watch this.
Okay, we'll hop in the car and rush down there. Hold your position and keep taping it.
I'll try to get a better angle. I'll take my eye off. You see what it looks like the top of the head or something? But now I get a different angle and I can't seem to find it, so
Yeah, I hear it.
I just like it's moving a foot or something in there. Like there's like what?
There's a blue key with a boat on the back end of it coming down the road. As soon as she's clear, I'll go.
Okay.
You're clear.
now I'm trying to find the area again. Now this area will become unique right a few minutes down in the
So what?
basement. No, everyone thinks it's barbed wire. We have these vines that go through our woodland. All it is thorns. So basically, when you try to go in there, you're torn up. It looks like barbed wire. I thought it was too, until I went back to the site.
I'll be right up in this area with this big timer.
See, obviously, I'm looking and pointing my camera to the ground.
So where?
I'm not sure, but tell him to come out. Tell him to come out.
He says he's not sure. He said he wants you to come up anyway.
I just figured I'd show you the whole video from start to finish, not just a little section of it. That way you can just see the whole incident.
She's come down here.
Now Don's making his way up towards me, up the trail. I want you to notice there's no wind there, but you're going to see parts of the video where all of a sudden the foliage just starts just going crazy.
It looks like a head moving and with two eyes.
Get that on tape?
Yeah. You're watching it through the viewfinder. I haven't seemed to pick it up.
Don't bother. 2 seconds. Take down here.
Will you point it out? Yeah, I'll point it out when it gets to a point which I think is significant. It'll be coming up here in a minute.
Let's keep working the area. I heard something moving around there on the way down.
This area was about 5 feet higher up than where I was standing. It was going up on an incline. Heavily thick, briar-laden pines. Now, right in this area, it's right in this area, hopefully it'll show up, you'll see like a shadow or an outline of a head of something. And we measured that area right there, and it's approximately at the lower part, which would be right in here. It's like 6.5 feet up. And I'm seeing if it's going to show on this.
How far away were you?
I was from this, no more than 50 feet. Now I want you to look for eye shine. See the eye glow? Just watch in there, look at it. The sunlight's catching the eye because it was very sunny that day. This isn't even the good part of the beach. But on a regular TV, you'll see the shadow, the outline of the head. It almost actually peers out. You can see it slightly. But Don, now listen to what Don says.
still there. Well,
Do I look for mine?
tell me where's that? I want to tell how to keep it.
Don starts walking, trying to walk
where
toward
I
it.
was filming first.
And I make a mistake, I move, and I got this little branch in my way.
Be careful, man.
It was only 50 feet away, and he couldn't get toward it because these thorns are so thick.
The best way to go would be to go straight through this middle.
So what I'll do, I'll get frustrated. I'll walk up by him thinking, hey, he's closer. I'm going to get a better angle on this. Inexperienced again. I kept the camera rolling. That's all I did. I just kept it going. I was in about to press pause for a second. Okay, I'm looking for the area. I'm thinking, I'm thinking to myself, well, now I lost it again. But now I'll pan to my left, and what you'll see is very significant. Right there, now watch. Looks like a gorilla head or something. So I'm thinking, what the heck is that? Now look who's carrying around the tree. Right there. Now watch when I step to the right and watch when I start talking. It'll look right at me as I get off the slate.
Dan is watching me. It's between two trees. I can see his head.
Watch it. Look at it. You can even see when it turns its head. Its ear is showing too. Now watch it backs up.
It's right between these two trees closest to me.
I don't know. If
I can see his head moving.
now it backs up. Now it's actually looking toward the right. Now watch over here.
You see it?
It's looking dead to the right. The sun's hitting right on the face. You have to sit there and sit down and watch the video and be take it frame by frame. Now I give the camera to Don. Here, Don, look. And look at that branch is moving. What's moving that branch?
The sun's even shining on its facial features.
For some reason I thought it was staring at me, but then after watching the tape, I realized Don was 10 feet to my right. It was watching him. And not only until I started talking, then it looked at me real quick and back at him.
So I'm probably missing it.
When you check that film again, Mark, just before you came to that spot,
Make some kind of noise, Richard.
between the two trees, you panned up. I thought I saw a big old gorilla face in the dark.
Yeah,
You
well,
say, oh, there it is, but
believe me, I've watched this tape so many times. I mean, there's something still in there. And I was just, yeah, we're yelling at it. Hey, I'm like thinking Sierra sounds. Hey, big guy, come on out. You know, I'm trying to provoke this thing to come out. Here, I mean, what else could I do? I was so scared.
You're in big trouble with the mail.
And Richard was to our left almost 50 feet, and he was standing on the trail, and he didn't see anything. He's looking, but he said he couldn't see anything. Now, there's one part at the end, it's almost over, because I kind of give up thinking I can't see it. Don will give the camera back to me, but there's one part at the end, the guy at the Cleveland Zoo was pointed out to me, and he's calling this some kind of gorilla. He says it's a small monkey, but with a mean gorilla face, and I'm thinking of, man, if I told him I believed in Bigfoot, he'd probably laugh me out of this place, but he has some decent equipment to look at. But see, here's the general area of these trees, but I'm not standing in the right spot to get that perfect angle.
Tell me if Don ever happened. I'm still there and I'm ready to put down.
Don't let the foliage trick you either. Sometimes people think, oh, there's something moving now. It's because I'm moving the camera.
I think it's still there. I think it's still. I don't see. I'm looking between those two trees again, and I don't see what I saw.
Looking through a viewfinder is a pain. Even a color one. I had a color viewfinder. If I didn't have a color one, I bet you I wouldn't even see it.
Oh shit.
Now you'll see we talked for a little bit, and then I just decided before we walk out, I'll view again. And I didn't see anything looking through the camera, but as the guy at the zoo said, well, look right in here. And I was looking right at it with the camera, but I must have been not thinking or just panicking.
Point it out when it comes.
Yeah, I will. It's almost, they're up in the foliage right up in here, but you'll see when I'll step over. Now, I mean, I'm not sure if this is anything, but I mean, I guess you guys can be the judge of that. This right here, come down. There's the one, and what's this little looking thing right next to it? It looks like a little chip or something, and look at the foliage just moving all over. I mean, the guy at the zoo's pointing that out, saying, oh, look, there's one right there with a young one. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, just look right there. I'm like, I don't see it, but, you know, I just wanted to make that a note. But anyways, that's all that was there. You know, I guess all I can say is that my wife happened to be babysitting my nephews and nieces for 3 days about 10 miles away from where we live. So I had to sleep at night 3 nights without her, just with my cats. Every sound I heard outside. And I live near the city. I just was like, I couldn't comprehend ever imagining to even see something. Even though I didn't see it with my own eyes, I saw it through the viewfinder, and I'm pretty sure it's Bigfoot. I don't know what I mean, I guess it's all up to opinions, but it was, I don't know, I guess it really just bothered me is what it did. It was something I've always wanted to see, but now that I've seen it, I doubt I'll ever see it again, let's just say that. But any questions, I'll take 5 questions, and then after that I want to sit down and watch these next 2 or 3 talks. If anyone wants to talk to me on the hall, I'll be here.
Question
Right there. There was no odor. Another notice was the birds were completely natural that day. It was a perfect day. I mean, I was taking pictures at the other place with my still camera, and the pictures were just gorgeous.
Question from Tom Steenberg.
In this area, did you and Don notice any vehicles not occupied and sitting anywhere that didn't belong to you?
There was absolutely no vehicles anywhere. The only vehicles we saw the whole time was a red vehicle coming down the dirt road and a blue Jeep coming down pulling a boat. And there's a lake right in this area, and obviously they were going fishing there.
Question there.
Yeah, it seems that sightings in Ohio is rather kind of recent. You used to always just mainly hear of it in the Pacific Northwest. Why do you think recently they're starting to have sightings come out of Ohio?
Well, I think because I've talked to a lot of people. I don't hunt, but I have a lot of friends that hunt. And they tell me there's so many deer in Ohio. So at our local sportsman show, which is one of the biggest ones in the country, even one year John Green was a guest there, I asked the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, one of the rangers, I go, how many deer do we have in this state? And he said, son, we have so many deer in this state, we don't know what to do with them. They're talking about extending hunting season just to kill more. Well, by the way, the county that this was taken in, this Coshocton County, is like in the top 3 of the most deer kill taken during hunting season every year. It's like I said, it's the foothills of the Allegheny Mountains.
Question there.
Mark, are you considering adding a tripod to your optical?
Well, I'll tell you right now, if I didn't have image stabilization, it would have been real screwed up. I do have a mini tripod, but I think it's a pain to carry around. But I carry a backpack now because of this, and I have my tripod in my backpack. Next.
I'm a friend of Mark's. I'm well aware of this. He's had other wood-on-wood encounters, but could you quickly tell the people about this chest beating incident that you think may have been chest beating? Or
I had an incident that happened in March of this year. I just went out to a typical area. Danny's been there. We call it the AKA film site, which you'll see later on from Don Keating's presentation. I was just standing by my Jeep, and it was about 12 midnight, and lo and behold, it was like right in the tree line, and I just like almost fell over right there. I called Don on the radio. I said, Don, something's pounding his chest at me. You better get the up here now, because he just made his way away. Well, he got right back to the base of the fence to climb over, and just when he did, it went And I said, Don, I have to sit in the car. I can't stand. I'm sorry. So I went in my Jeep and I just sat there. I said, could we please leave? And that was it. I don't know what it was. It was at 12 midnight. I know grouse don't make that noise at night. I know there were no starter motors for gas wells anywhere around, but that's about it. I don't know what it was, period. Who knows?
Great, thank you.
Thank you very much.
If you're enjoying all this rare and unique content, please show your support by subscribing and leaving comments.